Hello, everybody. It's Optitron Prime here on this Thanksgiving weekend, or Thanksgiving week, to do a video review, and I'll be back to do another one probably on Monday or Saturday. I've got a busy next couple of days. I'm going to visit my mother for Thanksgiving tomorrow, and then I'm going to hang out with some buddies of mine on Friday, so I might do a review Saturday, or I might wait till Monday. We'll just have to see what happens. But today I wanted to kickstart my reviews of the Wave 3 Earthrise Deluxes, which is all I have at this point. Unless you count the Pit of Judgment set, which I will take a look at later on. But I figured I would kickstart the Deluxes reviews with, I would say, my least favorite. Not to say he's a bad figure, but he's not as good as the other three, which I'm looking at right now. So, in case you haven't guessed, I'm going to start off with Fasttrack. Now, like I just said, Fasttrack is not a bad figure. He's just not as good as Trailbreaker. Definitely not as good as Sunstreaker, and really not as good as Runamuck. I think Runamuck might be one of my favorite Earthrise figures in general. But I'll praise his mold more when I get to his review. But this review is all about Fasttrack. And Fasttrack, for those who don't know about his character, is he, I believe, came with G1 Scorponok as a spear weapon and a little buggy and a robot, I believe. So they're faithful to the original with this guy. And so here he is in his little buggy mode. Now he is a modulator. So those of you that don't like parts forming, you're going to want to stay away from him. Because there's parts forming like this guy, and then there's tear it apart and put it back together like Creos. So if you guys don't like this guy because he parts forms, you're really not going to like this guy or his two brothers, Ironworks and Airwave. I like the modulators. I'm going to just say that parts forming doesn't bother me too much. What bothers me is when a figure doesn't transform as properly as I would like. In the case of this girl right here. If I can figure out how to get her vehicle mode to work solidly, I might do a review of her, but every review I've seen of her, the reviewer has been frustrated with her. So, yeah, if they're frustrated, I'm going to be frustrated. So, probably not going to get a review of this girl. Love her robot mode, but that's about it. 1 out of 3 of my criteria. Because what I look for when I buy a Transformer figure is robot mode, transformation, and vehicle mode. And I guess you can include playability. So 4 criteria I have when I buy a Transformer figure. And I've got a lot of them, so a lot of them have clearly ticked my boxes, but I'm not hard to impress. I mean, seriously, I have this thing. I have this thing, and it's, well, it doesn't work anymore. Come on. Well, I was going to say, go on. Yep, I'm not going to try to get frustrated with this guy. But I have a one-step stinger, so really I'm not hard to impress when they actually work right. And I have these little things from Titan's Return. So clearly I'm not hard to impress. But I'm sorry for rambling on like that. You know, I'm just trying to get across, what I look for when I buy a figure, and how parts forming doesn't really bother me as much as it does a lot of other people. I watch a lot of MGO's reviews, and he makes fun of those people, and it always makes me laugh. It's like, what? Parts forming? Shh, it's all right. I love that. And I hope that he doesn't sue me for using one of his catchphrases, because he's one of my all-time favorite YouTube reviewers. And I've actually met 2 others of my favorites. So I'm hoping I can meet 2 more of them at some point in the future. But we'll see. Anyway, to get on with the review, here he is in his little buggy mode. And to get in close to look at the details, they molded in a few things. But really, robot mode chest, head. He's just a robot taken apart and slapped back together with a few folds here and there. Like his arms are just basically here and his legs are folded in half. It doesn't bother me, really, as much as it would some other people. But, anywho, he's got his spear weapon here and his guns, which the guns are detachable. The one time I want them to come off. There we go. So the guns are detachable, and they do cover his hand to make it look like he sprouted an orange gun. And of course, since the camera's on, yeah. But anyway, we'll do some vehicle mode comparisons with his aforementioned brother, an actual brother because they're Decepticons, Airwave. And if you remember from his review, I love this thing. I think the 2 other modulators in the line are better than this one, but that's not saying that this guy's bad. I just love this one and Ironworks a little bit more. Now you want a somewhat bad figure, not a terrible figure. I don't think I own any terrible figures because I don't buy them if they're really, really bad. But yeah, one of the least favorite figures in my collection. I'm gonna keep her. I'm not gonna sell her, but she's gonna be kept in robot mode, probably forever. I don't know. But to steer away from that tangent, there he is with his brother Airwave, and Airwave really, really, really expands out, which is something that Ironworks doesn't do, and Fasttrack doesn't do. This guy really, I don't know if you call it mass shifts or not, but this guy unfolds to be just about as long as Voyager Galvatron from Age of Extinction. This guy's big in his vehicle mode. Excuse me. I promise you I'm fine. And for another comparison, here he is with random comparison, Siege Mirage. And I absolutely adore this figure. It's a great figure. And this the Prime Wars trilogy. Was it the Prime Wars trilogy? No, this is a War for Cybertron trilogy. I get my trilogies mixed up. They're doing one right after the other. The War for Cybertron trilogy is really impressing me with what they're doing. Siege was really, really good. Earthrise is doing really good. And I'm eagerly awaiting to get my hands on some Kingdom stuff. I really am. Because all the reviews I've seen of them look really, really good. So there he is with Siege Mirage. Another random comparison. Here he is with Earthrise Cliff Jumper. And he compacts down in his buggy mode to about the same size as Cliff Jumper. So he's got somebody that's about the same size as him. I think he'll be taller in robot mode, and we'll check that out with Bug Bite when we get there in just a little bit. But there he is with Cliff Jumper. And why not? Here he is with Siege Sideswipe. I adore this figure. I really like Siege. Blew my mind. And Earthrise is doing the same thing. Like this is this guy in RC are probably my least favorites from the line. But RC has him beaten by a mile because this guy is not bad, and I can actually transform him somewhat. I've got his instructions over here for going to spear mode because I haven't really sat down and mastered him yet like I have Run Amok and Trailbreaker. Of course, they're easy figures to transform. You do it once and it sticks in your brain. And even Airwave, I've memorized all his transformations. I've mostly done that with Ironworks, but I haven't fully memorized this guy yet, and I apologize for that. But anyway, there he is with Siege Sideswipe, and he will get a review. And we'll do a couple more here, I think. Here he is with one of his wave mates that I previously mentioned. There he is with Trailbreaker. Love this guy, and not because he's my favorite color, but because the mold is good, and I just really like his design. I do have the which third party one is it? Ocular Max Courageous. I bought that figure, and unfortunately his transformation is a little bit on the finicky side, so I haven't mastered it completely yet, which is a shame because I love his design. I love the way he looks, and I really wish I could get that transformation to work fluidly. But here's with Trailbreaker, and that's about it, I think, for his vehicle mode. I apologize if you can hear that. Somebody's pulling in my neighbor's driveway right now. My neighbor and I share pretty much the same driveway. Like mine's on, it looks like the same driveway, but I get half and he gets the other half. And so I can hear, I guess when I'm down here, I can hear somebody pull into his driveway. I'm in my basement. This is where my review station is in my basement. So anyway, transformation to robot mode. It's not, you don't have to tear him completely apart, which I do appreciate. So what we do is we rip him in half, and separate and lift his toes up from these sections, and fold the legs down. And that's pretty much his lower body all done. Just bring these little flaps down, and there's the lower body all done. Now for the upper body, you want to rip this piece off, and I think we're going to open this up for spear mode. Yes, so it does open up like that. We'll do that for spear mode. But anyway, take his torso, bring his arms down, rotate them just above the elbow, and there you have one arm, and the other arm. Rotate his head 180 degrees, and there is, you can see on this torso piece there's a peg here and a peg here that goes into a port there and a channel there. So just line that up, and then take the piece here, and if you hear music, it's because I've got a Johnny Cash concert playing on my laptop upstairs, and he is my all-time favorite singer. Let's take this piece and plug it on there, and there is Fasttrack in his robot mode. And I gotta tell you, let me move the camera back just a little bit, as far back as I can. Move the figure back a little bit. You can kind of see Hubcap there. I'm going to get him out of the way. I like the Cliff Jumper mold, as I've said a few times. I kind of dig this robot mode, and I'm going to leave the guns attached to his hands because I don't want to lose them. But, yeah, there he is, and I like it. It's a neat little guy. And, Zoom in on his details. There's really nothing new here except for the thighs that get exposed. A little hollow there, but doesn't bother me. You're not going to display your figure like this. You're definitely not going to display him like this. But anyway, I like what they did with this guy. Now, like I said, he's not, in my opinion, not as good as Trailbreaker and the others in his wave, but that doesn't make him bad at all for any reason whatsoever. And if you can see something gray in the background in the corner there, that is a Lego version of the final battle on the Death Star where the Emperor gets thrown down his shaft. And there's not much of enough room to move it out of shot because Fort Max is standing in one corner and Trypticon's over here. So, literally on both sides of the camera I have just mounds of stuff. And I guess I need to get some shelving units probably from IKEA. But anyway, there he is in his robot mode. Now we'll do a couple of comparisons there. I guess this guy might be on his way to being a standard comparison just because he's laying right here. Here he is with Siege Ironhide. Move them more into frame here. And Ironhide, of course, is bigger. The mold is bigger. And I love the Siege Ironhide mold. I have all three versions. Of course, Hem Ratchet and Crosshairs. And for those of you that didn't find Ratchet at Walgreens, I found mine at GalaxyCon in Louisville. So I guess your best bet if you didn't find him, if you can't find him, if you didn't find him at Walgreens, would be eBay or Amazon. And same thing with this guy. I got this guy on eBay because 4 different Walgreens didn't have him. So these Walgreens exclusives are pretty much impossible to find. And I have a Walgreens here in my city, so yeah, they don't really put out the new Walgreens exclusives. Of course, if I walk in there one day in the next 2 or 3 weeks and find him there, I'm going to be a little bit peeved. But anyway, there is with Siege Ironhide. And I'm sorry for rambling so much. It's just I'm one of those guys that have random thoughts and they tend to come out. Since I'm looking at this guy here, he is with Siege Soundwave. I dig Soundwave. I can't wait to have the Earthrise version. I think I have him pre-ordered from Walmart, but either way, I'm going to get one because there's also a Walmart in my city, and there's Walmarts in cities all around me within 30 miles or so. So I will have the Earthrise version of this. I will. The Prime, I don't need because I've already got the original Earthrise Prime. So I'm not going to get the Kingdom one, which is just a repack, and I'm not going to get the Netflix version. But I do want the Netflix Soundwave because he's the boombox and I love it. So there's that. Here he is with his fellow modulator, Ironworks. They look to be about the same height. I think Fasttrack is nope, they're about the same height. I looked around the camera. So my camera's angled. My tripod doesn't raise and lower. It's on a ball joint that tilts. You know what? I'm going to do this. So bear with me for just a minute because I want to see this, and I'm sure anybody who's watching wants to see it too. I want to see all the Earthrise modulators together because we're only going to get 3 in the main line. I mean, there's no Earthrise Wave 4 that I know of because they're moving on to Kingdom. So if you will bear with me for just a little bit, I'm going to put Airwave into his his robot mode, which doesn't take very long. And I want to see, excuse me, it's the cold weather. The cold weather. See, that's the bad thing about COVID. It hit during flu season, so everybody that gets sick, they're going to say it's COVID when really it might just be a cold or the flu or something like that. But I don't want to get into any political discussions here. I don't care for them. So they're attaching his legs right now. Kind of like an episode of Optitron Build Stuff, which, if you guys are interested in that, anybody who's watching wants to see me build stuff, leave a comment and I might buy some little Lego sets here and there and start building stuff. It's kind of a bridge between getting new Transformers figures. So if anybody watching wants to see that, leave a comment and let me know, and I'll definitely do that. Because I want this channel to be the best it can be, and if you guys want to see that, I'll for sure get on it. Just attach his gun, attach his arm. I might do it anyway, just for the fun of it. But let's see if I can fit all three of these guys in frame, because I have him in robot mode now. Here are the three... don't you fall forward. I know you haven't been drinking. At least not that I know of. There are the three Earthrise modulators together. I like them. I really do. I think Hasbro's done a pretty good job with these guys. I'll tell you what I'll do. I just had this thought. Anybody watching that wants to see me do build stuff, say if I get 3 comments on any of my videos that say we want to see build stuff, I'll for sure start buying little sets and start putting them together for you guys. I love it when MGO does it, and if that's something that anybody watching this channel wants to see, I will get on it. So we'll move these two guys out of the way. Find a place for them to stand. Since we already mentioned this guy, here he is with Blue Streak. And these two guys might get in a scuffle. For those of you that don't know, I'm seriously considering doing a stop motion series, but I don't know enough about it to do the photo side of it. I can write episode scripts all day long, and I can voice certain characters, but as far as doing the stop motion part itself, like the camera work, if I knew how to do that, I'd already be doing it. So if anybody watching is interested in helping me out with that and knows any voice actors that would be willing to participate, let's talk about that, because I really have wanted to do a stop motion Transformers series for a few years now. I just don't know. I'm just not skilled enough to do every aspect of it. So if anybody out there is watching this channel and can help me out with that, I'd greatly appreciate it. There he is with Blue Streak. And here he is with Bug Bite, of course. He Fasttrack compacts down for vehicle mode, but really expands for robot mode, so that makes the Cliff Jumper mold tiny again. Oh, he's a mini body, supposed to be small. And a couple more comparisons. Here he is with the Quintesson Bailiff. And let's see if we can get him to stand. Yeah, the head of the bailiff comes up to his abdomen. So there's that mold. And one last comparison. Here he is with my aforementioned we'll compare him with this guy as well. I wanted to, and then I forgot. And then I remembered. That's the way I am. I have a form of ADHD real bad, so forgive me for remembering and forgetting and remembering again. Studio Series Cliff Jumper. I can understand why some people don't like him, but I really enjoy this figure and can't wait for the B127 version of it, which will come out next year sometime. But there he is with that. And one last comparison. Here he is with Run Amok, who will probably be the last figure reviewed from this wave, just because he is my favorite. I think Trailbreaker will be next to be reviewed, and that will be either Saturday or Monday, so keep your eyes open for that. But there he is with Run Amok. Love this figure. And he doesn't parts form, which I'm sorry if it sounds like that bothers me, but it really doesn't. I'm just saying that he doesn't parts form. And why not? We'll compare him with his other mold mates since we've already done it. Since we've already compared him with the others. Here he is with Sunstreaker. And when I review him, I'll compare him with his brother Sideswipe. And who knows if we'll see an updated version of him for a new line. We probably won't. And I'm okay with that, I suppose. But there he is with another really good figure, Sunstreaker. And that's about it for his robot mode. So I guess we might take him to his spear mode now. I don't want this video to be too long, but for figures with multiple modes, it kind of has to be that way. So, okay, let me see. I'm gonna have to look at these. Rip his backpack off, turn his head around, rip his arms off, rip his chest off, rip him completely apart. Oh, might want to do this on camera. I was going to do it off camera. I'm so sorry. Rip this off, rotate his head, rip his arms off, and they do attach. I think they attach that way. Yeah. So there's the taking off the little. All I did was take this off. This is gonna get attached later on. Rip his legs off. Rip. I think you rip. Do you rip that section off? Yes. So you're basically turning him to shreds to do the spear mode. And this is the only time I'll probably ever have him in spear mode. At least for the foreseeable future. It is really hard to get this off. There we go. There. I'm sorry if that was off camera, but it's really hard to detach. Now that he's in pieces, the legs, fold his toes down, and the legs, I'm looking at his instructions, and oh, okay. They don't attach to each other, they attach to this. So there's that. Oh, and then you splay these back out. This piece. No, not that piece. This piece. Opens up. And attaches. Like that. And then the little spear tip is going to attach right there. You don't use this piece at all. And then you attach the arms right here. Don't you bend on me. There he is in his spear mode. Now I didn't bring Scorponok down here, but we're gonna try. I'm going to have to stand up for just a second because Fort Max is way back in the corner. There he is, big boy. We might have to try something drastic here. Sit down. That's about the only way we can get him in shot. So we'll move Fasttrack out of the way here and scoot our big boy over. What I don't like about this spear mode is the loose joints. I don't like that if he's holding the spear, it goes whoop, it flops like that. Let's see if Fort Max can do this. Now, full disclosure, I remember the first time I saw Fort Max, I fell in love with the way he looked. He can hold it just about as good as Scorponok can, I imagine. Not very well, which is why I don't like his spear mode. So we will end the spear mode there. I'm sorry it was brief, but it doesn't work as well. And I don't like it. I just don't like it. I love Scorponok, but he's not going to have a spear because it wasn't executed very well. So we'll move Fort Max back to his little corner where he stays. And I believe that's all there is to say about Fasttrack. Not a bad figure, not a great figure either. I guess I can return him to robot mode real fast to end the review. I'm going on 32 minutes and I really don't like that. But got to cover everything in these reviews, so my apologies for it being long. Not that I hate long videos, I just don't like mine being too long. So now we can reattach his legs. I don't think... Okay, yeah, it attaches from the back. Yeah, I'm all mixed up, and I apologize for that. We will reattach that section. Put this piece back on his back. Reattach his arms. And get up here. You're not allowed to run away from me. Reattach the spear weapon, which apparently doesn't want to reattach. Murphy's Law. Round peg in a square hole. Scatterbrain. But there is Fasttrack. As far as ratings, I would give him 6 or 7 maybe out of 10. But yeah, there he is. Earthrise Fasttrack, and as I mentioned, Trailbreaker will be next, so keep your eyes peeled for that. If I can remember to do it Saturday, it'll be done, but Monday is when I start a new job, and I'll be working on second shift, so I'm going to keep doing reviews. It'll just be on a different time frame. It won't be in the evening because I'll be at work, and then when I get home from work, it'll be 10:30 or probably 10 to 11 at night, so, or 20 to 11 or so, somewhere around 11 at night. So I'll have to shoot my video reviews probably around lunchtime. And if they come less frequently, it just means that I'm busy. So I apologize if I do less reviews a week. I'm starting a new job where I'm going to be working in the afternoon into the night, so there's that. But this has been my review of Earthrise Fasttrack. And as always, remember, if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is you want to do. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll be happy to answer it for you. And if you like my channel, recommend it to your friends. Have them come on over and watch. I would greatly appreciate it. And this is Optitron Prime saying, roll out.